YouTube, new family, what is going on? Daniel back. Another video. We are in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I'll show you guys outside actually. You guys can see that. That's the little hill there. The Cristo is probably behind us. But yeah, we are in Brazil and had our first full day. Made a vlog, so you guys will see that when it gets edited. But very nice. Like, to be honest, it's been like cloudy. It's supposed to rain. Rained a little bit later in the day, but had to catch up on some rest. I only slept like probably 3 hours on the plane, but we are here and 2 hours ahead. So about to go to bed because I have a tour tomorrow. I want to come on here and flow as always, give you guys wisdom, help you guys grow, and really just combat anything that the world tells you, because you know, even when you walk this path, you are still in the world. You know, you're not just a spiritual person that lives in the clouds and is not participating in the day-to-day things of, you know, social media, people in your family, friends that you have maybe that speak of worldly things, maybe politics, movies, TV shows. But the reason I say that is because you can, you know, obviously have moments where you just disconnect completely from the world, and have those times where you're just basically touching heaven. You're super connected, aligned. You know, you're not thinking, you're not trying to control anything. So you're basically, you could say, in the clouds. You're as close to God as possible. So nothing of the world really interests you. Meaning, you know, it's all backwards. You know everything is spirit first and not flesh first, as the world tries to sell you, and that everything comes from above. As above, so below. As within, so without. So essentially, when I was on the plane, I was watching a movie about Bruce Springsteen, and essentially it's a pretty good movie, but to be honest, I felt a lot of things in the movie of people, especially him, how he was escaping stories, and you know, at the end of it, they diagnosed him with depression. That's a worldly term. I say depression because it's not real. Everything is spiritual. Depression is just stories that you choose to believe about the past. So you're stuck there, and you know, you want to change things or regret things. So you're, you know, develop in the your body is basically reacting to the stories. So you know, it creates depression. But essentially, what you have to do is eliminate those stories, and then you're back and you're aligned. And then when you're anxious, you are looking to the future. So you have stories about the future and what's going to happen and how you're going to control this, and you have to have this by this time, and control, and you know, fear. So that's anxiety. So you know, the way to control that is be present, be aligned, and put yourself in the present. So those two things are worldly, you know, mental disorders or things you have to be treated for and have medication for. And I had, you know, an episode of depression, but essentially, like I say that because I was just chasing a story in the past of my first ex-girlfriend and what happened, and you know, it shouldn't happen this way, and how could she, and blah 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 blah. So I'm creating stories, and you know, attaching feelings to those stories and trying to change things, and you know, not accepting it. So it just created a depression because I was not in the moment. I was not aligned, and everything when you're in the moment is perfect. You know, when you're following your conscience, when you're aligned, when you're hitting the habits, when you're not missing, when you're speaking, when you're letting go of stories, everything is perfect. When you're not doing those things, you're probably in the future, you know, anxious about the future, or in the past, depressed about the past, or shameful, or, you know, wishing things were different about the past. So that creates things in the body. So that's why I say, you know, obviously we both, me and you watching, me, you know, that you're watching, we both live in the world, but these worldly things that they tell you are fake, you know. And in the movie, like I said, I realize, maybe you don't realize, but I realize that like stories are at any level. Like, you know, people believe, or they're just told that there's no stories when you have 100 million, or there's no stories when, you know, you're dating 3 girls at the same time, or there's no stories when you have a mansion, there's no stories when you have a supercar. You're just, you know, you don't battle anything, you just have beat the game. But it's fake. There's actually more stories when you're at that level, because the devil is attacking you more with the things of the world that, you know, you have. So you could say it's obviously easier to be more spiritual and disconnect more from the world when you have less. But when you begin to have more, it's actually more battles. And when you're where you are right now is perfect, and you have to begin to accept that your path you're walking, as long as you, like I said, following your conscience, doing things with good intention, beginning to line in with the habits. You have a masterclass for that, so you can lock in on the habits that will get you closer to the person God created, essentially. And then you also have to speak as well. I made another video about that. The two things that you need to beat the devil is speaking and the habits. So as long as you're doing those things, you're basically removing yourself from the flesh and getting closer to your purpose, because the spirit leads everything. And like I said, when you live for the world, you try to escape that feeling, or try to get a feeling from the world. You're trying to escape that conscience that's always there. But when you're aligned with that conscience, there's no need to escape. Like me being in Brazil, I'm not escaping. 3 years ago, I would have been at a party right now and trying to escape and meeting girls and drugs and where's the club to go to. But I'm here shooting the video. It's about like 9. I was showing my phone when it's charging. 10 p.m. And then after this, I'm gonna go to bed. Wake up 4:40, and read, reflect, read the Bible, go for a walk, go on my tour, go to the gym, train. Like nothing changes really. The only thing that changes is the macros, which I'm not tracking for the first few days. But other than that, everything stays the same. I'm still documenting. I'm still speaking my mind. I'm still, staying on top with the habits. Still aligning myself with God. But, the world wants to tell you that when you leave, it's okay to just escape, and, it's your time to have fun. And, I see fun as just you not confronting yourself. Fun is a way for you to escape your stories and not confront who you are. Fun, the vacation, the holiday, like you're working and you're not enjoying what you're doing, and then you go on holiday and you just let everything go that you built. Any habits, any good habits you've had, you just let all that go. Start to drink more, get more lost in vices. Don't take care of your body. You disconnect from God completely. That's not how we're supposed to live. It's really learning the way to live, and it's the way that the world teaches you is backwards. Like I said, I was watching that movie and I'm like, this is exactly what the world programs us to live like. Like it's okay to escape your stories as long as you have the fame or the money or whatever it is, maybe the relationship, like the car, the house. Like it's okay to escape as long as you have those things. But it's completely opposite. Like you have to be stronger in those things and show the world and give faith, when you have those things. Like I know God's gonna bless me with many things, but right now He blessed me with this trip. Like I said, I'm here exploring, and tomorrow is really a full day here, so you guys will see. I try to maybe see what I can record and document, but the vlog, I said, is for the first, say, half day that I spent here. And yeah, like that movie really touched a chord and made me see that, like, yeah, the world wants to trick you. The world wants you to live the way that they believe or see fit, so they can manipulate that way and understand, so they can just exploit it. Like when you're living for feelings and escaping, they can exploit that with more things to sell you and more medicine to give you to fight that anxiety and the depression. More misinformation they can give you, just keep you under control, because they control you with frequency. It's not something that they they obviously give you misinformation, but the whole world is controlled by frequency. So you can feel it when something's off, when the whole world is just basically the frequency's off. But you work on your frequency. That's the lifestyle that I teach, is working on your frequency and not listening to feelings. Because like I said, if you listen to feelings and you go on a trip like most of the world, you're going to escape with drinking and this and that, and it's over here, it's over there. You're just like, oh my God, it's so much to do, and you're excited, which I made a video about, is the devil. I'm not excited that I went to Brazil. I'm at peace and grateful that I get to wake up and see another day, and it so happens that I'm doing that in Brazil and then going to enjoy it. But I'm not escaping with Brazil, or escaping my stories with Brazil. And if I go to Brazil, then it's all gonna be quiet in my head, and I can finally just have peace. Like people maybe look down or frown upon in this journey and say like, oh, what is he talking about? Peace, gratitude, what's excitement's fake. But what you do is, instead of working to get peace and gratitude, you escape with the stories you have, because everyone has stories, and you believe that's normal. So what I'm telling you is crazy, but you believe the right way to do it is listening to those stories in your head and those feelings and escaping with those things whenever you get a chance, making money, taking a vacation to escape that, escaping with sex, escaping with alcohol, escaping with drugs, escaping with social media validation, escaping with this, whatever it is. Like, you find ways to escape, and then the way I'm showing you to live is seen as crazy, or like, why is he talking about this? Spiritual? What is spiritual? But we're all spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Like I said, that movie made me see that everything is actually more spiritual than I believe, because those people at the top that you see living the worldly life, they're probably the most disconnected, because they've built their whole foundation on the things they have. So they've lost their spirit, and they probably don't enjoy the other day. They probably don't see the day as a gift. They don't see their ability to just connect with something higher as the gift. They see, okay, if I just get this next thing, that's the gift, or if I get this next relationship, or more status, or more fame, or more money, then that's the next thing. But you're always chasing the next and next, and you're never at peace. And then you start to get these depressions, anxiety, mental disorders, whatever it is. But it's all spiritual. So what I'm trying to say here is, stop assessing things by what the world tells you. Stop removing all these terms of depression, anxiety, and like whatever new thing they're trying to sell you, and realize that their whole job is aligning yourself, and everything will heal itself. Everything will align itself. Everything will remove itself once you get to that place. Like all the lust, all the vices I once had, all the ways I saw the world and to escape with, it's all gone. Like, I'm here making a video, like I said, at 10 p.m. when I can easily be out on a Friday night escaping and whatever it is, and then trying to bring a girl back to my room because I'm here alone, and take advantage of that, and then go tomorrow and just be hungover, or underslept and not really enjoy, not be present, and then go escape with something else. Like, that's what society says is a trip or a holiday, but I just see it as a change of location. Everything stays the same, but we just change location. So really begin to understand this life, does not change wherever you go. It does not change based off what other people say or what the world says. That is real, like mental disorders and all these different things. The world wants you to see the things in a certain way, but the person who created everything, God, Jesus, already knows how the world is. All the truth is in the Bible. It's all here. I always bring my Bible, of course. The truth is always here. So anything you're seeing online is, it's the Bible. Everything online is, it's just to confuse you more and get you more out of your power. So I want to leave the video there because it is time to cut it and go to bed. But the point of the video is, stop seeing the world as the way to live. The way to live has been in this book for thousands of years. There's so many different cross references and things that make it the truth, but they try to sell you with a new thing, the new agenda that they want you to believe, but it's all fake. As soon as you begin to believe that and understand that, your life will begin to take a turn, and you can actually find who you are again. It's all about finding who you are with the habits that I teach in my masterclass, the ways to speak and let yourself go with the stories, as well as in the video about that, and everything that's in the channel. All the wisdom you need, you can apply it and really change your life, like I have in the past few months, really 7 months, 8 months. It's when everything really took a 180, and now I'm here at peace, aligned, gonna go enjoy it more, and don't need to escape with vices. I don't have stories of escaping, I need to meet this girl and have sex with her as fast as possible, and drugs and alcohol and whatever it is. I don't have those stories. I really just want to connect with God. That's why I came here and follow my conscience. And maybe it's Christ the Redeemer, I don't know, but I just follow that because that's the most true thing that you have. So leave it there. Hope you guys liked the video. More coming. Like I said, vlog is gonna be edited and will come out, and then more wisdom as well as we keep growing, because every day we grow. No matter where we are, everything stays the same. The 0.01% lifestyle always continues. And if you guys stay till the end of the video, hope you got wisdom, because it's only wisdom, not information. And as always, until next time, keep killing it.